What's going on, people? It's your boy John here. You know, solitude is the one thing that I've learnt during this entire lockdown. Before this, I had made it a conscious effort of mine to become comfortable with solitude and to be happy whilst being alone. Because I had a habit before, which was to get my sense of happiness and gratification from other people. It was a habit that lasted quite a while. I'd say ever since I was a teenager, all the way until early adulthood. Even though I had toxic friends throughout my teens and early 20s, I'd still stick with them. I'd stick with them because I felt that this was the only way I could feel happy, even though I'd be mistreated by them, or I'd be in scenarios that I'd feel uncomfortable in because I wasn't being treated right. When I look back now, I'd put up with it because I didn't feel that I could be happy by myself. That puts you in a very difficult position because you become needy. You become needy for other people's validation and their attention. Getting other people's validation and attention is a good thing here and there. It's definitely something nice. It feels good, yes. But it shouldn't be something you depend on. Your sense of self shouldn't depend on other people's validation or attention or opinions, or whether or not they like you or dislike you or hate you or love you. It shouldn't matter. Your sense of self is like a rock, and it remains stoic regardless of the situation that it finds itself in. Now, whilst everyone was complaining about the lockdown and the quarantine and saying, oh, it's terrible, it's this and that, we can't go out, can't meet people, whatever, there's definitely that side of it. I'd love to be going out, I'd love to be meeting new people, making connections here and there, socialising, whatnot, getting a job as well. That would be great. But the other thing is, the flip side, the lockdown, I see it, it's a coin, and it's got two sides to it. There's the bad side, which is obviously the limited social interaction, but there's also the good side. It's an opportunity for you to go within yourself and to really, really become intimate with who you are. Really get to know who you are at your core and who do you want to be. And most importantly, how are you right now? Where are you in your self-development journey right now? Because the journey's everlasting. The self-development journey is going to continue for years. It's not going to reach its conclusion on a certain date. It's going to keep going. But it's a good idea to look at where you are. And this isolation, quarantine, it gives you a very good opportunity to do that. It gives you an opportunity to look at yourself and to really see, what are my pitfalls right now? Where am I coming short? What are the unhealthy patterns that exist in my mind that are actually keeping me down? They're keeping me stagnant. They're not keeping me growing, moving. They're keeping you stagnant. And it's worth looking at those things to find out necessary ways to perhaps alter them. Or not. Sometimes they can just stay there. Sometimes you don't need to change everything. Sometimes things are actually good for you. What I've realised is the pitfalls that I have, they're the ones that need to be worked on. But the good stuff, the things that I've figured out that are actually in my benefit, that I'm actually good at, those things I can actually develop. I don't need to get rid of them. Even if previously I saw them as being a negative. Let's say I've got a strong empathetic ability with people, and I've got an ability to form really quick connections with people. Before, I used to see that as a bit of a negative. Now, here's why I used to see it as a negative. Because I used to think that because I'm empathetic, because I'm able to connect with people, that maybe I'm connecting with them a bit too strongly on the first encounter. Maybe that they're not actually reciprocating the same energy. and I'm going too quick. That's what I used to think. But what I realised through the self-development, through the journey, was that yes, a little bit of self-awareness will tell you exactly where you are when it comes to forming empathetic connections with people. A little bit of self-awareness will tell you how far you're going. Are you hitting them too hard with the connection? Do you need to pull back a little bit? Do you need to be a bit more subtle? Do you need to be a bit more careful about how quickly you're going with it? I'm going to do another video on how I used to be an oral type character. I don't know what the scientific or psychological aspect of it is, but what I do know is I used to be an oral character. You know, the oral character is characterized by neediness, characterized by a lack of sense of self, and a compulsive need to want to get its sense of self from other people. I was that guy. I needed my sense of self to be satisfied with other people. That's a very dangerous position to be in, because mostly anyone and everyone can't actually fulfill those needs. They can't do it. Only you can fill those needs. And that's what the solitude has taught me. It's taught me that I'm the only one who's responsible for the happiness that I engage in and that I experience. I'm the only one responsible for self-gratification, and that can't be found through vices, through drugs, through sex, through porn. It can't be done like that. These things actually keep you down. They keep you stagnant. But I hope the rest of you are using the isolation and the lockdown for ways to improve yourself, to better yourself. Because this is the greatest opportunity I think we're going to have this decade, this century. I don't think it's going to come again, where we can actually go within ourselves at this level, this forced solitude, and figure ourselves out and really know what is our next path, what's our next step, and how do we engage in our next journey. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really happy that this has happened, because it is what it is, so you might as well make the best of that opportunity. I'm going to be signing out. Take it easy.